Okay, this is just showing fun lighting. We have those in the store, totally love them. But they worked with the light and the dark and the dark trim around the windows being where they get that element. But the wall is a little bit creamier and more taupe. The trend is going lighter on your wood floors. We went through a 5-year, 7-year period where everything was dark on the floor. We're coming back to light, but we're not doing it in the oak still. It's more of a maple, hickory, lighter tone, or something like this where you've got your gray, black, browns, everything mixed. That's really a winner. Okay, here's the shiplap again, going vertical. We're doing the horizontal shiplap in Karen's home, but this is fun, taking it vertical, and then wanted to show how the white and the brown, a lot of people come in and go, oh, I just have this big brown leather sofa. I can't change anything with my big brown leather sofa. Well, yes, you can. You can still lighten it up with the white, bring in your grays through pillows and tables. I have a very dark floor, so I wish I could change that now. I recommend to everybody these days that we mix because it'll be timeless. It will transition with the trends, but very, very pretty. And then those, I don't know if you can tell, but the chandeliers are metal. So you've got the gray metal, which just takes away from the brown sofa. You get that really cool feel. Okay? Alrighty. So, add color with architectural texture. So this fireplace, like the floor I was just talking about, mixing earth tones, warm and cool tones together. Then you can pick what you want to pull out. So that rock has browns, golds, grays, everything. And then this palette they chose to do the cream, the gray, the lighter feel. But if you did that with a great big leather sofa that was brown, you change that look entirely. And you can do that even with the trim. So here we're doing the gray and the white, but you could do it as brown and black and have an incredibly different looking, feeling space. So if you're adding color through the rock that's in your home or play with textures and change color tones, you can change the look of that whole space with the rug you choose, the throws you do, the fabric you do, and the wall colors completely change. It just alters the whole look. Love that picture. And interesting too, you can even do, if you wanted to make that more contemporary, you could actually do a big white bulky thing across there, and then you pull out whatever you add is what you pull out from your rock. So same thing with granite. If you've got granite and it's too dark for you and you want to lighten it up, you change it to pull out the little light specks and it lightens up your granite. If you want to do the opposite, you do a darker color and it pulls out the blacks that's in it or whatever you got going on, and it enhances whatever you've got architecturally. Here's a stark difference you can see. Cool versus warm. So the cool whites, but still very inviting and still very pretty. And that cool is so on trend. My goodness, everybody wants gray. But then they grounded it with the black pillows. And I even think that they had some darker carpet, but I can't remember. Okay, this one, warm, peachy, creamy. The peach here is pulling the peach from here. If that wasn't a peach pillow and we went brown, that would look more brown. Very fun to change things around with the colors that you want to enhance. But you'll see we still do the black ottomans. You want to add anything that you do warm. You need some depth to whatever you're doing to make the space work. Now here's the red brick, which is typically warm, typically traditional. When you've got this red brick, love how they pulled the gray into the bed and let that turn cool. But here's a nice copper or brass sconce, very fun. And here, the black that has no color is accented with the white. So if you like white, so this would be more my house. I have, this isn't my house, but I love to be bold, dark and lights and rich colors, and like I would have this, I love purple, this purple throw or berry. Those kinds of colors are just intense and so gorgeous. Could you live in that space? Look at that. Color block, so somebody wanted to have fun. They just don't want to be cool or warm or whatever, but you got a red phone, red refrigerator, the black spiral, two-tone ceiling. So they did, I'm assuming, tongue and groove there with the darker wood and then lighter wood around this spiral staircase, which is really fun. And then this looks like brick, but it's paper, wallpaper with a high gloss finish. So very, very fun. So design that certainly doesn't have to be boring. Now this one I wanted to talk about the reverse, where we do the dark on the cabinetry. So that is a really matte blue. Typically on cabinetry, especially around here, we're doing high gloss or gloss, semi-gloss, and then satin on the walls and flat on the ceiling. But everything in this palette is matte and chalky, which creates a very urban, natural, they're probably green people, which is so great. That wasn't meant to sound, like I didn't believe in them. It's a great thing. And even the adjacent wood outside, natural. Nothing's dark stained. It's light. But if you're doing this palette, would you ever throw a high lacquered paint on your cabinetry? So you need to think about your finishes of the paint that you do too. Flat is very popular in East Coast. The New York, you wouldn't even see anything with a satin or a semi-gloss. Flat, flat, flat. But it's so hard to take care of. So you smudge it and you can see a fingerprint. So I never do flat. I always do satin on my walls. I'll do flat on the ceiling to prevent any kind of reflection. And that being matte on the cabinetry will be a lot of upkeep, but it's stunning. It's really pretty. So this is a natural environment done with whites, but has the subtle wood tones in there, and it totally works. And this one on the fireplace. So the paint wasn't on the walls that they're trying to accent, but the fireplace being that deeper, which is the same color as my background. It's supposed to be a blue gray on the fireplace. And then to make everything coordinate, detail was thought about in the frames. It was thought about in the trim here around, and look at the wood floor, very light, totally love that. But every detail goes into play nicely for your wall color. And if one thing was thrown off, that would change that wall color completely. Okay, here's two pictures, same room, because the difference is, they're great spaces. This one just shows the brown leather chair in there. So the new Surya catalog just arrived a few weeks ago, and on the front of the cover is the navy blue sofa, the gold accents, the furry pillows and throws. So yummy. And we're working with a client that's doing this very thing. So on trend. You're like, one thing they ask, well, do I want to buy a navy blue sofa? Because it's on trend. It'll work. It'll work for a long time. By changing these, it'll become like the brown leather sofa. Been around forever. Will stay forever. You can take this warm or cool. These are done in the cool tones, but they brought in the leather chair and the reds and the oranges. Totally love the navy blue. Okay, now here's showing kind of the colors from last year's, this one and I think the next one, the pinks and the baby blues. So you could do a little bit of a mauve in your sofas. In fact, I love Anthropologie. It's one of my favorite stores in the world. And this is one of the sofas that they're in their latest catalog. That pretty mauve. People think, could I really do mauve? Well, I could do that. I could so live right there. So pretty. Here is in the gold, the autumn golds, and yet a little bit of mauve in the drapery. So you can incorporate these colors of the years that you think might be insane, really work. This is more like that navy blue that we just saw, but it has a picture I mean, it has a texture in it, a pattern. So you can come up and look at these after. But, and here's the deep emerald green, all in velvet. We love to do stuff like this, and we can custom every sofa and bring in these deep, rich colors for you that accent a room like this, where they did it with the over-dyed rug. Stunning. You can change that rug and you change the space. Hint of mauve, hint of pink in that fabric. So fun. Changes the wall color. Now, I was going to say about upholstery colors. These are all pretty basic, but just the same as our white, right? We ordered in for a client some leather recliners. Super expensive. She wanted bison smoke, which was gray. It came in and totally has a bat green. Well, their house is nothing to do with green. Needed to be gray. That it would be wise to take, for all of us, samples of your upholstery when you're working with your paint, or bring your pillows in or your paint boards. Anyway, coordinate all of that. So that's an expensive mistake. We sold them to another client, so that was not a problem or anything, and the green worked for them, but it was definitely green. The sample in the store looked gray. So important to take a cushion home. Take a sample of our fabrics home, make sure it all works together, especially on remodels. New builds aren't quite as difficult, because new builds is this blank space and you're bringing in all these elements. And as a designer, we're coordinating everything at that time, so we know it's going to work. On a remodel, you've got these existing boundaries that you're going to have to work within, that you're not changing your countertops, you're not changing certain things that will really bounce color off and change the color of both your sofa or your wall. So important to take that into consideration. I love this wallpaper or paint. It's not as stunning as it is on my screen, but anyway, it's a deep, deep corally orange that I just love. And looking at it in this space, you've got the tiles that has a little bit of that there, that you could incorporate this inside somewhere, and look at the copper light. So bring additional color, even if you're doing white, the deep green live plants that play against all of that. You can bring in color in other ways into those white spaces and make it work. But would I have chosen maybe a metallic silver? It would work. But does it enrich or enhance the space? Not nearly the same. But that's where you choose. It's not me to choose. Can you live with deep, like I live with deep colors, or do you need that softer, more relaxing space? Working with a client in another one, different one in Wellsville, and her entire home is that soft white, and she had considered doing something darker on the wall, took it out there, and it made her very nervous. So is that what you want? No. But it has to be your home, your style, and then we can incorporate things like this that works for you. Okay, lights can go back on, and thank you. Let's see. Oh, here's the pink, color of the year last year, but mixing it with the yellow and makes that wall more taupey. So here are favorite colors of the year for me right now. Chantilly lace, I use it often. Really love Benjamin Moore Chantilly lace, but it's gray. I want you to look at these colors, even with the lights on, and see if you can see the backs. Can you see white dove? Who would think white dove was so taupey? Can you see that with your eyes? Atrium white, I'm doing that on an exterior right here in Nibley. That it needed some cream. It was screaming for some cream, but there's barely cream in the back of atrium white, and it works so well with the rock. Your exterior, interiors you can paint again, exterior, it's got to be right. Have you driven past a home before and go, oh my gosh, that's wrong? Yes, you have. Like, oh my gosh, that's peach, and they meant it to be like taupe. So even on stuccos or on columns, you need to take the big board. I have my stucco guy make me a 5 by 6 foot sample, so I can see it morning, noon, and night. I can see it on a rainy day, that it doesn't go peach. That's the last thing I want, is be the Pepto-Bismol house, you know? We don't want that. But I wonder if your eyes can see that the Chantilly lace is the gray, Glacier white has the yellow, Acadia white, more taupe. Which one do you like? The Acadia? Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And then we're talking exteriors. Elements to think about when you're changing or remodeling or even new build. Shingle color's going to make a difference. Shutter colors will make a difference to your white, or any color for that matter. Brick, and if you're doing painted spaces other than just your basic white and architectural, that one's got the green paint. I'm doing a house that is blue and white, and it's very southern. They just moved here from Carolina, and doing an entire wraparound porch. We have to have a nice clean white that will look good against blue. Two cool colors. If I mixed a white like that, or that atrium white, with the blue, it would change the dynamic. So think about that when you are asking someone for help. Don't go to the paint store and say what will look good with blue and think that's all you need, because there are elements that will go into making sure that color is truly what you want it to be. So, wherever you get your inspiration, recognize what you love. I'm a flower girl. Just yesterday I received a flower arrangement that has beautiful white hydrangeas right in the middle, and it's surrounded by deep fall colors. It's so, so, so pretty. I'm inspired by my flowers. The beach, the ocean is my other favorite place in the world. I grew up in Oregon, and we spend so much time on the Oregon coast. And it's not a layout beach, it's the rocky, cold sweater. So I like that deep. Now somebody else might want to feel the blues and the sand when you walk into your house. So you're going to get your inspiration from wherever you go. But I like to live in color, even if the color's white. You need to be comfortable with that. Whatever the color is, don't be afraid to live in it. You just have to live in your space and love it. Never met a color I didn't like. That is so true. And then now that includes white, the mother of all color. I think a lot of people never considered white until these last 5 years, when that has become so popular. But I've never met a color I didn't like. It just makes me so happy. So my mission statement: we are lovers of all things design, color, furnishings, textiles. Oh, give me texture. Love textiles, art, and lighting. A light will change a space, as we know. We present them in a beautiful way to inspire you to create a place that you love, love, love. So, for me to inspire you, you don't have to buy anything here, although I appreciate it when you do. Inspire you to be what you want to be in your home. Your home shouldn't be safe in design because you only want to spend $350 on the cheapest chair or sofa that you can find, and it is brown, and you're like, okay, we'll do that. And then you go out to live and travel. You should be inspired when you're at home. You should love the peacock statue I have, you know, if that's you. Don't be afraid. We settle, and you don't have to settle. Even in a budget, we can make your home unique and truly yours. But the end of my mission statement, where I say love, 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 when a shipment comes in or an item comes in and I go, oh my gosh, I love, love, love that, that means I really love it. If it's 3 times, the whole store's like, oh my gosh, she's going to have that in her house in about 3 weeks because I love it.